You guys talked about a very strong 7 truck coming up on his back bumper.
I love this story of Parker Kligerman. Switched teams. Haven't seen the 7 truck perform anything near like, I mean, they won Daytona, but I mean, lately they hadn't run all that well. He gets in it. And at Texas here, it looks like he's got probably the best truck. He's been that way a lot. Won Talladega, one of the most exciting finishes you could ever hope for. He and Johnny Sauter pushed from 21st and 2nd to the win in 2 laps. And then Parker proceeded to plant his stake in the infield.
You know, we were talking on Speed earlier during the Cup practice about how Clint Boyer and Brian Patty have gelled so well over at your outfit at MWR. And it's amazing. I mean, they had the whole winter to talk about it. Parker Kligerman had 1 week to blend in with this new team, and they've been good from the start.
I think Clint Boyer would have been a lot happier if he had just had 1 week, because he worried all winter long about whether they're going to be any good or not. Sometimes I love relationships that happen out of necessity, you know, and then that's exactly what happened here with Kligerman. They wound up together and they said, we need each other. Let's make the most of it.
We have to make this work.
Exactly.
So let's do it. And they have done just that. Parker Kligerman grabbed his first ever win in the Camping World Truck Series at Talladega earlier this year. Now wants to see that momentum continue here at Texas Motor Speedway. James Buescher in front of Nelson Piquet Jr., Parker Kligerman, Ty Dillon, and Kyle Busch, your top 5. Again, championship contender. James Buescher leading in his home state of Texas. Sunday NASCAR race day is must-see. Jimmy Johnson tells us that the championship is now his to lose. And our experts debate JJ versus Keselowski. Tell you if Kane and Boyer are close enough to strike. NASCAR race day fueled by Sunoco from Texas, Sunday at noon. Live on Speed.
He made a little bit of a statement today in qualifying, didn't he?
What about last week?
Yeah, that was a statement too. That was a novel last week. Today was a statement.
But there's a lot of racing to go.
Yeah.
I love how it's shaping up.
Big gap between the top 2 Cup Series.
Totally. We saw how fragile a point lead is in the truck, and I think it's the same deal in Cup. Those guys are all really good, but you can't expect just to race all the way through this chase without a problem, can you?
You wouldn't think so. You would think you would get a mulligan, but the way those guys have been doing it.
James Buescher trying to not only add a point for leading a lap, but he's been very strong since the drop of the green flag, and he's been able to take the lead and lead quite a few laps here early in the second run. Ty Dillon currently in the 4th spot. Hermie.
Rick, a little bit of drama with the championship contenders on my end of pit road first. Ty Dillon concerned about the water temperature on this 3 truck, reported upwards of 280 degrees. So they've asked him to keep an eye on it and look for him when Kyle Busch completes his pass, or if he completes the pass, to try to get any debris that may be on the nose of this 3 truck. And he just reported 290 now water temperature on the 3 truck. Also the 17 of Timothy Peters falling back after he gained a few spots on pit road. He's reporting a vibration in the front end of his truck, and he is suspecting he may have some engine woes developing as well. So got to keep an eye on the 3 and the 17 in the next few laps, Rick.
We see the 3 trying to tuck in behind that 18, but I didn't see any debris on the grill of that truck.
I didn't either. Unless it's something microscopic there. You can see a pretty good look at it. It looks pretty clean.
We usually see if there's any problems with the opening, and it looks like Ty's all right.
And these guys have a great idea about how much grill opening that they can get away with. You hope if you're going to see 280, 209 degrees on the water temperature gauge, you're going to hope it's a malfunction of that gauge.
But generally, the gauge is right.
It really is. But again, they know within reason. Does it sound like it's laboring a little bit?
I think it's just him having to work the gas pedal a little bit, and the thing slid up the banking a little bit with Dillon, and sounds clean there.
Yeah.
Dillon running a little higher line now, up about the 3rd groove here in Texas.
Most of these teams have the overflow at the base of the windshield, so Ty will be able to keep an eye on that. And if it starts pushing water out, then they may have to come to pit road and put some water back in that thing.
What about this battle for the 10th spot? All race long, Cale Gale has been solid. His truck's fast on the longer run. He's reeled in Timothy Peters trying to work himself inside the top 10 after disappointing Martinsville last week.
Yeah, Timothy had talked about at the start of the race being so loose and dropped back into the 13th, 14th, 15th position, but after the pit stop, he's been able to get up into the top 10. But that battle for the top 10 heating up as Cale Gale all over the back bumper of Timothy Peters 17.
You could see the strong run that Cale Gale got off the corner, was able to drive right back up on the tailgate of Timothy Peters as they exited the corner. Peters looks like gets in the turn a little bit better.
The nice thing about this race, the little added length here, it's 220 miles instead of our normal 200 miles, about a mile and a half, and the extra set of tires, they'll be able to make a couple more swings at it. It looks like Butch Hilton's made some adjustments. That truck is better than it was on that first run. He's got a couple more adjustments to go.
Look at the momentum that Gale carries off the corner. He's going to look to the bottom.
Timothy Peters carrying the momentum up high, but it's the 33 of Cale Gale that makes the pass on the bottom of the racetrack.
That's a good move. Used the momentum off the turn, shot to the bottom on the entry, and was able to hold the bottom and complete the pass. It's really difficult. It's easy to get up beside someone. Man, it's hard to finish a pass in a place like this a lot of times, and Cale Gale did it perfectly.
Cale moved up the racetrack through 3 and 4. Timothy Peters dropped to the bottom of the track and closed the gap back once again. And you see almost a half a track lead that James Buescher has over those two racing for the 10th spot. But Buescher right now has a second lead over his teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. here at Texas Motor Speedway. For sports and life, join us on November 11th for this speed exclusive for the first time ever. The past and present drivers who captured almost all of Hendrick's Cup victories gather in one place to share personal and never before told stories about that journey of laughter, tragedy, and triumph. Beyond 200, the Hendrick Motorsports story, November 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Speed. Welcome back. We're under our second caution. Smoke coming out from behind the 51 of Herman Quiroga. Looks as though an engine may have expired on this truck.
Yeah, there it is as he enters the corner there. A lot of smoke.
Now, Phil, does one of the cats I think you're going to have to beat to win this race, Kyle Busch, that's his team truck. Does that bring some concern into his mind about?
I think you got to worry about it a little bit, maybe in the back of your mind, but I think right now the more pressing concern is, hey, we've run about the same distance that we did the first go round. What did my truck do with the adjustments? What kind of adjustments do I need to make now for later on here? And no, we've got 82 laps to go. They're going to put another set of tires on. That means they're going to only have one more set in the pits, and we're going to have to run 82 laps on 2 more sets of tires.
They haven't gone that far on the set yet. If you split that in half, that's 40, and they've only gone about 30. So you're right, Phil. A lot of second guessing will go on down in the pits.
Next variable coming onto pit road. They don't want to make any mistakes. Ty Dillon currently 5th and coming to his pit stall. Herman.
They talked briefly about 2 tires, but no, they are going with 4. They got to do an air pressure adjustment and raise the track bar 1/2 a ramp. He is tight on exit. Ray?
4 tires and no changes for the Great Clips racetrack. 31 feeling pretty good. For the 30 up in pit stall 1, they want to put the track bar up 1 round. Going to try to loosen him up. 4 tires and fuel. For the number 30, we see these guys rolling off. Good race off of pit road. Nice round of pit stops. 1 truck hung up there. Looks like Justin Lofton.
Looks like maybe a little bit of strategy for Cale Gale. We talked about how fast that truck was moving into the top 10.
And the hood going up on the 18. They're putting it down now, but Kyle Busch having issues once again with that 18 truck.
Yeah, that's going to really cost them all the track position. We're showing about 23 trucks right now on the lead lap.
Eric Phillips standing up on top of the pit box, taking a look at what's going on with that 18 truck. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Problems continue for the 18 team. Back on pit road is Kyle Busch. They're having ignition issues, at least charging issues with the battery, potentially the alternator.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to change the battery. Ray, what's going on down there?
Well, Phil, they changed the battery when they were in the pits this last time, but Kyle said it's no better. So we have a crew member jumped inside. They are checking to make sure there's no loose wires on the electrical boxes. Looking underneath, they are going to get another battery here and try to change it again. But right now, if they do that, they would go a lap down. So they're sending Kyle back around.
You know, on the stop before, the starter didn't work, and that time the starter worked just fine. So there's certainly some. It sounds like maybe a short or a connection issue with this 18 truck.
And that's what they were trying to check under the dash to make sure everything was plugged in. There's so many things, ignition boxes and everything that plugs into each other here. It's amazing. It's probably 100 foot of wire inside of one of these vehicles.
Cale Gill, your race leader, he restarts on the outside. Nelson Piquet Jr. on the inside. They bunch up at the start-finish line. 3 wide once again for the lead.
We talked about that track position that Cale Gill gained. You got to think maybe he took 2 tires on that truck.
Oh! Sauter into Kligerman.
Kligerman in the 7 on the outside of a 3 wide as they come out of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
I don't see 2 tires working very well. We'll see how Gale's able to hang on.
I think Brendan Gaughan employed the same strategy in that South Point Chevrolet. Number 2 on the inside. You see Kligerman, the 7 going by on the outside of Brendan right now.
Battle for the lead continues. Here comes James Busher.
A little bit of damage on the back of that championship leading truck of James Busher. You could see the right rear quarter panel has been out on it right at the rear